go again. We're going to create change. Make it happen this time. Let's go, always good vibes. Get out of your bed. I can feel it, it's going to be a good day, a great day. Let's go, always good vibes. Create change. Let's go, always good vibes. Change. Let's go, always good vibes.
That's right. Welcome back, everybody. Appreciate y'all being here. This is Guy Creating Change coming at you live, 9 p.m. Here we go. Talking about this government shutdown. Is it just noise, or is it truly something that we need to be worried about? Got some facts about things, and things that I think are pretty interesting about the topic. But most of all, is it truly chaos? What's happening with it? And then, man, we got some brothers and sisters that we need to say some good vibes and prayers for with this hurricane that went through. Man, it was a crazy one, and we're just hoping that all of them are gonna, just doing as good as they can. We're sending out thoughts and prayers for everyone that's going through it. I know Jamaica got hit hard, and I know Cuba got hit hard, and I know that there's more stuff in the line of fire. I think the Bahamas, and there's a bunch of people maybe looking to get hit with it. So we're just thinking of you and sending out good vibes. Hi, my name is Guy. Welcome to Creating Change. I appreciate everybody out there being here. If you're in here, just stop in and say hi. Leave us a comment. Today we're going to be talking about this government shutdown. Coming at it though in a lighthearted kind of way, and we're gonna touch on some of the topics around it. And I feel like that some of it is blown out of proportion. And the one question I have above all is, why the heck is it that the people that didn't do their job and pass a reconciliation bill or do their job and get the budget lined up, why is it that they're still able to get their money, but then there's other people that are worried about their money? The people that don't have nothing to do with creating those laws are the ones that are most affected by it, and that just irks me. I feel like for those folks, they're up there to do that job, and they are placed there by us voters, and then they don't do their job, and they want to have these little arguments and bicker and go on, and just cost poor people. Basically, is what it comes down to. It winds up being the poor people that end up getting hurt. It winds up being the poor guy that doesn't have food on the table, or isn't able to pay their bills. And there's a lot affected. It's a trickle down effect. It's a trickle down effect because you'll have folks that are, working for people that maybe are making good money working for the government. Maybe they have to shut down, or maybe the grants that were paying for it, or the federal money that was paying for it, that gets shut down, and then it trickles down to the little guy. And you got people out there that didn't have a dang thing to do with creating the laws, or supposed to be doing the job of doing these reconciliation bills and doing all this. You'll have these people that didn't do their job, yet they're getting their money. That don't seem right to me. So we're just talking about it, and we're bringing it from a lighthearted angle. I'm not here to call anybody right or wrong, because I don't really know much about anything. I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, an Indian chief. I'm just a man, family man, husband, and a son, and a dad. And I just think about things from a common man view, as that's about all I can do with it, because I don't have no real education other than life itself. What I can observe, and what nowadays, about any of us can be as smart as we want to be. If you want to just look it up, you can find out any information you want. And that's kind of how I lean on these things, man. I hear about stuff, and you hear about it on the news and everything, and then or you'll hear people saying something about it, but then you'll go look that very thing up, and it's nothing like what they were taught, or sometimes it's worse. I'm not calling balls or strikes either which way. I'm just saying that, for those of us that are on the lower end of the totem pole, that's the ones that get affected. And, I hate that, and it sucks. And that's what I observe out of the government shutdown. But I have some topics pulled up, and some monies that it's costing and some things that are affected by it. And right here out in Virginia, towards the northern part of Virginia, there's a lot affected. There's a lot of people that work for the government that don't have nothing to do with making the laws. They don't have nothing to do with none of the big stuff. They're just the lower people on the totem pole doing a job. They just happen to be working for the federal government, that are either working for free or furloughed pay or some kind of off pay. Good night, honey. I love you. Speak as my wife. Good night. But she works, for the VA and everything. And there's people that come in and out and through discussion that they're affected by it, man. It's the little people down the line that wind up getting having to wait on their money, or there's some kind of issue behind it and everything. And I just find that to be nonsense. But I got my homeboy brother Tommy from Keeping It Real Media. He's going to be coming up with me in and out, and we're going to be pulling up some stuff and looking at it and just having a conversation around some of the things that's out there for us to look at. And we're just going to discuss them, man. And nobody's calling anybody right or wrong. I'm just calling it the way that I see it, from the angle that I sit at, because I don't sit very high up on the totem pole. So I can speak for the middle class person. Now, thankfully, nobody in my personal circle has been adversely affected yet by it. But I know family and stuff from Northern Virginia and Maryland, that I know that there's some effect for them. And I don't know personally exactly their finances and all that kind of stuff, but I know, man, when you're expecting a paycheck and you don't get that paycheck, then it don't matter. Like, me and my best friend, we were talking about it, man. He's made more money than I'll ever make, just because of the line of work he was in. He was a coal miner. He made great money for our area. He was rocking. But your bills wind up matching what you make. If you're barely getting by on 1,000 a week, well, I promise you, if you start making 2,000 a week, you're going to barely get by on that 2,000, or whatever the number. I'm just throwing round numbers out, but y'all know what I'm saying. That's the angle I'm coming at it from. So if you take every one of their paychecks away, you might truly be, keeping them from paying their electric bill. They might truly be expecting that to be able to pay their bill, be able to cover their week. They might be going week to week, paycheck to paycheck. That's how me and my wife did for years, and still hit times where, scraping the barrel. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say, what folks are doing up there is right or wrong, as far as, getting this stuff lined out. But I just think that it sucks that it's the smaller people that wind up being affected by it most. But we appreciate y'all being here. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. We appreciate it, man. I see you, fishy things. I see you there. I see you, Squirrel. Appreciate you. And Brother Bruce, Mimi Bear, thank y'all. Appreciate you, man. Ricky Lyric, I see you there. Oh, hey, Brother Gen X, he's back. Guess who's back, man? It's good to be back on with everybody, man. I appreciate y'all coming in and saying hi, man. Yeah, getting going on this topic. I'm gonna get Brother Tommy pulled up here. Brother Tommy, come on up here with me, my man. How's Brother Tommy doing, man?
I'm pushing the buttons in the back end there.
Oh, did I jump the gun on you right there,
No,
bro?
I'm pushing the buttons when request and see. We don't have much of a plan going into this, like this one, but like,
Yeah,
as you call it up, and then seeing when you call it up and see how fast I can pull it up.
yeah. Hey, you could pull up any one of, because it's all worthy of having a discussion around. Uh, Look at hey, let me bring these comments up here, man. Let's see if I can.
But when you're ready, I have probably the good joke of the last 2 weeks, or actually the whole month.
All right. All right. Well, let's see. Let's
I
see.
guess that started technically around October 1st when the shutdown happened.
All right. Let's see what we got going on. Yeah.
No way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Indeed. I love the sombrero. I got one. Let's see, let me find my sombrero.
I need a good laugh. I find that.
Yeah. That was a good one, man. I remember seeing that one a while back. It was a good one. Look here.
Back
There's
when
you
the
going.
shutdown,
There's you going. I just want to shout out to the press for dropping in, saying hi. Real close friend of mine. You know, like, I like to think he is. You know what I mean. I like to think he's. You know.
is that the same sombrero that Schumer and Jeffries has on?
I am the original sombrero wearer. I had that one before they had it. Yeah. I got documented proof I had that one for you can tell by the year that American Eagle shirt was made. That was back a bit ago. That was hey, here we go. Let's see. There's you a good one. Let's see. Here we go. There's you a good one. See the Selleck stash going on. That's just a little taste of the eye candy we got going on for you, though. Yeah. Hey, but this thing now, man, for real. Talking about this shutdown, man. You know, I took the liberty of doing a small bit of research, and I'll tell you how that went. It was a lot. It brought up a lot of stuff that's affected that I didn't even realize was like, I know that like I know that like some of that stuff's affected. I know that. But man, when I started looking at the numbers for like okay, right here it is. In Northern Virginia alone, there are roughly 321,516 federal civilian workers. Man, that's a lot of people, dude. I don't even think there's only like 14,000 people, I think, or 15,000 people in my whole town, my whole county, I think. I don't even know. Oh, and many more government contracting jobs dependent. See, there you go. There's the trickle down we're talking about. You know, they get shut down, and other things get shut down. Oh, Center for, let's see, Virginia could lose about 32,000 jobs this year, the largest chunk coming from government employment. That's crazy, man. That's a big number, dude. I mean, that was one of those numbers that jumped out to me. I was like, whoa, because I didn't realize there was that many people that work for the government, man. Like, and there's a lot of, and that's just in the Northern Virginia part, man.
And then people who have to like work while no one's there to pay them.
Yeah,
like,
man. Yeah.
Air traffic controllers.
Yeah, air traffic controllers. They're not getting paid. But yet they're probably some of the most important people that we don't discuss. They keep people there is no air brakes. You know, like you can't stop while you're up there. So you need people to make sure you're not running into stuff. And that seems like a pretty doggone important, stressful job to me. And I feel like if anybody needs to have as little stress on them as possible, it would be them people that's trying to make sure that there ain't planes flying into each other or whatever. So
I don't that they need to put like the thing on if you have to come to work or you can get in trouble.
Yeah,
you're not getting paid.
Yeah, they have
punishment.
Well, and most of them are such honorable folks that they show up knowing they're needed, even though they're not going to get paid. They care enough about their coworkers, the people that they're trying to take care of, that they show up anyway, and then got to worry about how they're going to pay their month's rent or their month's bill. Man, they just shouldn't. That's just stupid. It seems like the people up there that didn't do their job should be the first ones to lose their paycheck. Like, this should not be tied there. Like, the air traffic controllers they should be just as essential as any congressman or woman up there. They can't sit in that controller seat and do their job. So it's kind of easy pickings for me when it comes to which one would I rather have. Uh I'd rather have the air traffic controllers up there doing their job than these politicians up there getting paid and not doing nothing but just arguing with each other. That's all they're doing. They just argue with one another, and that don't get nowhere. Well, who can call one another the sharpest name, or who can get the click for the day, or whatever you want to call it, and the viral hit or whatever for the day. And that kind of stuff just burns my hind end when I know there's people out there that are just like me that are not worried about it, but man, they ain't got the kind of money that they can just not get paid. That's why they work. That's why they're working, is so that they can draw a paycheck. Otherwise, they wouldn't be working, you know? And that just makes it for me, man, it makes it personal too, because I know that, I know that feeling. I know that feeling. I know what it's like, man, Oh, and some of these people, like the air traffic controllers, man. I mean, we needed them bad anyway. We need them all the time. Like, there shouldn't be no question about them people's paycheck. It should not be tied to the ignorance of other men and women above them. Their pay should not be tied to something that has nothing to do with them. Matter of fact, I venture to say that 90% of them congressmen and women up there ain't even smart enough or have the aptitude to do the same job as what them air traffic controllers are doing. But yet they're still getting paid. And the ones that really are keeping somebody from getting hurt ain't. Boy, that seems just about backwards, don't it? At least from where I come from. But what do I know? Oh, I'm a lot farther down the totem pole than what they are. But I feel like that, calling attention to it and having fun about it. There's nothing fun about, people not having what they need, but just having fun calling these people out on their ignorance and lack of integrity. Every one of them should be donating their paycheck to paying somebody below them that didn't have a darn thing to do with anything that's going on that ain't getting paid. Every one of them. If they had any type of integrity, every one of them would choose one of them Capitol Police up there that ain't getting paid, but yet they're doing a job that's a hell of a lot more important than what theirs is right at the present time, because they ain't doing nothing. They ought to send their pay down to somebody below them and make sure that it gets evened out, however it works out, till they do their job and they pass this bill. I believe if it worked that way, if they weren't getting their pay, I bet you they'd get their hind ends in there and act like adults and figure out how to get this thing done, because they need their money too, like we were talking earlier. The more you make, the more you spend. They need theirs just as bad. So cut off that per diem, cut off all that stuff. Government ain't open. Well, neither is the piggy bank for them then. That's that's the part that I guess for me, out of all of it, that aggravates me the most. If they at least weren't getting their pay, then the only way any of them, in my eyes, could save face for me, as far as if they were a friend of mine, is if they was able to show me where they did donate their pay. You ain't doing your job, man. Y'all are up there bickering and carrying on like some kindergartners and ain't getting nothing. No matter of fact, a kindergarten class is a hell of a lot more ruly. That's the kind of stuff that as especially as an American, you have the right to speak on things, I think, in the right way. I try not to, you know, I try not to just blatantly disrespect anybody's thoughts or opinions, and I try not to place, you know, I try not to just blanketly place blame, but I call it like I can see it. I'm not saying that it's right. Um, yeah, hey man, hey, you know, this is the way I see it, man. You know, good comment. RPS. The way I see it is, you know, there is a line drawn, and sadly enough, it's between R and D. And I personally feel like we're all Americans, and we're all kind of in the same boat. And if we really want to draw party lines, you know, that right there creates a division that I just don't think that's the way it was designed to begin with. So, you know, when I direct, you know, my anger towards something, or I direct my attention towards it, because I try not to take my anger out of my pocket these days. That's what creating change is all about. But what I do is I try to understand what the situation is. And right now I understand that there's people on both sides that have some qualms. But right now I'm looking at the votes that are cast, and I'm saying, man, we ain't got but a couple of them Democrats that's even thought about voting to keep this thing going, but I see an awful lot of Republicans that did. Now, that doesn't mean I got to RD either which one. I'm just saying, going by votes, that's the way it looks from my angle as just a common man watching common news. Like, that's just, you know, you can Google it if you don't believe me. We only need like 5 Democrats to keep this government open, but yet it ain't happened. So I don't know about the Republican Democrat thing, but what I do know is numbers. And the numbers say that, you know, there's some people that ain't voting to keep it open for whatever reason, you know, and I hate that. I hate that because it just shows what a divide that there is, and there shouldn't be that divide. You're not paid to take a stance when you go get elected for that position. You're not paid to take a stance. You're paid to represent your constituents. All of them, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, once you're elected, you're neither one. You're a representative of all. You're to try to help make deals and try to work things out that helps everybody in some way, but everybody ain't going to win all the time. But when you can clearly see by a simple looking at, okay, what's on this side, what's on this side, and you see that every time there's this straight divide line every time you vote. And I'm not saying it's a Democrat problem, it's a both of them problem. You see the divide, and you see that they can't be doing their jobs if that's the case. They're taking stances. Man, they got to get across that aisle and talk to some different people. Get the hell out of your bubble and talk to everybody. You are not enemies here. Just because we think differently does not make us enemies. That's the wrong rhetoric. As soon as you start name calling, as soon as you start with that for me lets me know that person must not have anything worthy to say otherwise. Because if they did, they would. You know, as soon as someone starts name calling, then it's over, because then you're putting people on their heels. Then they feel like they have to call you a name back to be equal. And, you know, I feel like that it's a problem.
For the reaction, looking for a reaction,
looking for that reaction, and most human beings want to give it back. I ain't gonna lie, man. Man, as soon as somebody tries to come at me, then of course you get that defensive stance. Man, I ain't trying to get chin checked, but you know, at the same time, you're trying to navigate a world in which I'm living in the real world. I don't live in DC. I don't live in no bubble. Man, I got all kinds of people around me. I live in a little small town, but there's all kinds of different damn people, all kinds. And I don't see nobody having issues that we're talking. Like, I see everybody in the struggle. I see everybody that's just trying to get along. Everybody says howdy, and maybe that's my world, and that's there ain't. I don't hate nobody for, man. That'd be the last thing I'd want to hate somebody for, just for the way that they feel politically. Well, good Lord, that's just about dumb. That's just about that's about as closed-minded as you could ever get. And as for these politicians, they ain't none of them going to be at my house for Thanksgiving dinner. Ain't none of them ever going to send me no birthday present. Ain't none of them ever going to do nothing like that for me. So why in the world do I care about their feelings on anything? I don't give a flying crap how they feel. I just want them to do their job. They get up there and they pontificate all this time about how this is how I understand, this is what, man, ain't nobody cares about how you feel. We just want you to do your job. What's best for your constituents? What does your constituents want you to do?
All that
Right?
says to me when they say name calling this or that, and it says to me they have nothing.
Yeah, you don't have anything at that point. You don't have anything once you start name calling. I love a voice of dissent because I like to debate. But I have a rule for myself that I carry. I don't call people names. If I can't do nothing better than say you're a racist or you're a this or you're a that, well, I just ain't educated enough to be in that conversation. Maybe I need to go on and read a book. Maybe I should go on and lean on ChatGPT a little bit heavier, make sure I might know a little something. Give it a quick glance. But, the first thing I try to not do is start off by calling people names or by insinuating that somebody is, not as worthy of their breath as what I am.
Look up ChatGPT, look it up in a book, Google it. You can search on the newly launched in beta form Grokpedia.
Yeah.
To compete with its nemesis Wikipedia.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just I
That
see
just
that
launched yesterday.
I see that coming from our top a lot. And when you're put in a spot where all you have is your ability to get to speak on something, I think it's important to call it like you see it, but in a respectful kind of way. I try to. I'm human though. I mean, everybody's human. Sometimes you get all up in them feelings, want to get red on the head like a pecker on a poodle and get mad, but that's not what I try to do these days. And I try to, if I want to talk to somebody, the last thing you're going to do is get a good conversation from somebody by starting off calling them a racist or a whatever the name is. You pick the name, whatever it is. It's just not you're not really wanting a serious conversation where there's respect involved in it, in my personal opinion. Because you're putting somebody on the defense right away. We're all human, man. You throw something at me, I'm with the, you feel like you want to throw something back, and then the next thing you know, instead of us actually getting anywhere, we're just calling each other names, or we're just seeing who can get the best cut down on each other, which is fun sometimes. Ain't gonna lie, but there's a time and a place for it. And I just getting back to, I hate to see the smaller people get affected by what others haven't done, and that be their job. You see folks that are losing their paycheck, like we were talking about the airline, the people that do that, and the Capitol Police and other people that just trickle down from the higher ups. They ain't getting their pay, or they're going to have to furlough, or they're going to have to do whatever it is they do with it. And then they're going to have to wait. Man, I remember a day not too many years ago that if you would have told me that I'm going to have to wait 5 days on a paycheck, me and Courtney we'd have been not paying a bill. True. And that may sound terrible, but man, we were getting by, man. We were trying, doing as good as, doing it. But you couldn't afford to miss no full week of pay. You went to work sick or whatever you did, and man, it would have really hurt to have to go 5 days or whatever, however long they're gonna have to go. They don't even know. That's another thing. It's like indefinite, like, oh well, whenever they decide that it's been closed down and they'll open it back up. It's like, man, this is ridiculous. Killing folks, man, like breaking them down economically and tragically enough, man, some things cut off truly do put people in a hunger situation, and I don't like that. I don't like that. Not coming from the richest country in the world. I don't like that. I don't like that. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. I don't know what that way is. I'm not trying to say that I do, but I'm just saying it don't start off by closing your ears off to the voices of dissent around you and opening your mind up to not what party line says, but what's good for my people, what's good for the people that I represent. Surely to goodness, what's good for them. Let's try that. Let's try that for a while. Let's work on. Let's do that and see if that changes anything up for us, because the way that we've been doing it ain't working for those higher ups, man. It seems like they just get further every time you watch them vote. It's right down the party line, right down. So I know right then they're not doing their job. If you see every time that it's just right down, that means that they're not doing their job, because you can't tell me that they live in a district where everybody's this, that, or the other. Man, you got all kinds of different people living in your district. You can't tell me that each time you're right down like everything just falls right down party line. It's just not true. You're not doing your job. Hey man, shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. I highlight that. I'm 42 and been at the same job for 22 years. I don't rely on EBT or government assistance. People need to wake up and work. It's not hard. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%, and I stand on that. And I'm gonna take it one step. I'm gonna take it one step further. Jason, I sadly enough, just like with the opioid epidemic, sadly enough, it's a trickle down effect, and it's going to take working with the next generation to teach them to not be dependent on anybody else. Once you're an adult, it's on you, baby. Get it. And don't be dependent on no agency. No, don't be dependent on your parents. Don't be dependent on no clinic. Don't be dependent on none of that. Get it and get it for yourself, man. And that's going to take another, that's going to take some pain. I hate to say it that way, but it's going to take some growing pains to build a generation back up and build men back up to where they feel like men and they want to get out and get it, and build young women up. They feel like young women, they want to get out and get it and not depend on nobody but themselves and each other. And that's what we need. So Jason, I'm in with you, brother. I appreciate that comment. There's Aquatic News Network. Shout out to Gen X, man. Appreciate you, brother. Always, man. Squirrels Magnet Fishing. Thank you, brother Harvey. Brother Bruce, man. Appreciate you, man. Tiff 420, shout out to you. We appreciate everybody being here. I know we had a crowd full there for a minute. I appreciate everybody. Thank you all for stopping in. Let's see. Busy Lady. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here. Hi. Howdy. My name's Guy. This is Creating Changes. This is Brother Tommy. Keeping It Real Media. We're coming at you just talking about this government shutdown in a lighthearted kind of way. We're not getting too far off in the weeds with what's right, what's wrong. What I can just say from my angle is that it seems like some need to be maybe getting to do their job. If I can play devil's, yeah, please do. I like Brother Fishy Things in the house. Let's see. Yeah. If I can play devil's advocate for a second, 22 years ago, an average full-time job could pay all. Dude, you're not. You're not wrong. I mean, I've heard my dad say many times, my dad's 83, still works every day just because he don't have to. He does because he just still enjoys being at work. But as a carpenter, but I can remember him and my mom talking about like in the 60s because they've been married 65 years, I think, 65 or 66 years now. But I can remember them talking about coming up through the 60s, 50s, and 60s and everything about making like dollar an hour kind of stuff, $2 an hour kind of stuff, whatever. Well, I can't remember what the dollar numbers were, but it was a small amount. But that we're living high on the hog, living good, and that's not like that's not a good sign. Our dollar's not keeping up with what I'm saying is like, and it's been a trickle over time. It just over time you keep getting raises, but it doesn't do you no good. Doesn't do you no good because everything else raises up with it. It seemed like it was a little bit more fair to the to how much you got. Oh, yeah. Let's see. I'm on. Since the government is shut down, I publicly pronounce myself as king of the United States until they get their stuff back together. Aquatic News Network, man. Yeah, yeah, man. Isn't that funny, man? The government shut down, but yet they're getting their paychecks. That's what irks me more than any of it, is that they're getting their stuff for not doing their job, but the Capitol Police, the contractors, and the people down below them don't have nothing to do with what they're doing. Now they're the ones that ain't getting their paycheck, and that don't seem right to me. That I don't like that. That bugs me, and and I don't know what exactly the reasons are because I'm not an I just don't know all that. But what I do know is that there's someone not doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing up there. They're not doing their job, and it shouldn't be the people under them. If any one of them want to show me they are any people of integrity, they should be donating their paycheck to someone below them that needs their paycheck. They should give their paycheck up for not doing their job. Now, I bet that'd get some of them to work right real quick. Take that per diem away too. Oh no, you don't get that. You don't get that either. Oh, no. Government shutdown. That means you ain't doing your job. You're supposed to be the ones keeping it open, keeping it going, keeping it rolling. Well, then that means you're the first ones to lose your job, right? You lead from the front. Isn't that what the old saying is, the old adage, you lead from the front? Well, they're supposed to be the front of the pack.
For thee, but not for me.
No.
Yeah, that's the way they think.
Yeah. I was reading that Highway 97 North. Shout out to Highway 97 North. Appreciate you being here. It says SNAP program for a nation of several hundred million people. It doesn't work. I remember the Walton family story in Virginia. True story of a family surviving in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s. No freeze. No doubt. And I get now, I'm one of those kind of people. I'm a realistic. And I get that there's portions of society just by chance that they might really need some help. But I also can personally say I know people that abuse that system myself. I know they do. I don't get any food stamps. My family doesn't qualify for nothing like that. But I know people that do. I have been in the store and seen some of the things that they're able to get that I can't get. I can't afford to get some of the stuff that I see them get. And the truth of the matter is, I'm glad that I can't fill up a shopping cart full of sodas and bring them home. I'm glad I can only afford to buy a 12-pack or whatever at a time. I don't need all that crap. You know what I mean? But my budget, mine and Courtney's budget also kind of says we can't. We also don't get to eat steak and lobster every day either. We don't get to eat none. We don't get none. We don't, we don't get all that either. So it's like, I have seen, and I've also seen them spend it on a lot of other things other than food and this whole. I don't like that. I don't like
even drugs.
Oh yeah, man. All of it. Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
selling stamps for drugs.
All of it, man.
You pointed out.
Man, it's so easy for them to abuse that particular setup. And I'm agreeing with Aquatic News, and I'm agreeing with Highway 97 North. I'm agreeing with all of it. It's so easily abused, and it's just created and I'm saying this with a loving heart. I'm not saying it in a judging kind of way, because I'm throwing myself in there too, guys. I'm saying it's created a people in which that somehow we've been tricked into thinking that it's owed to us. Man, we ain't owed nothing. Ain't nobody owes you nothing. Nobody. Ain't nobody owes me nothing. Ain't nobody owes you nothing. Ain't nobody owes nobody nothing. And it's sooner that we can get that out of people's minds, the more productive people we're going to create. It's going to sting. You know, a lot of times the best thing needed is a little sting. Get your mind clicked back into where you need to be at. But we've created that. We've created a people that, a group of folks. I say a group, a generation, not a group, a whole generation of people of all different kinds that feel like that somehow it's owed to them. And it's really not. It's just not. And that sucks for them. It sucks for us. It sucks for everybody that we've allowed people to think that. Because that takes their drive and motivation away from them. You're stealing them of that motivation. Man, the ones that are hungry are the ones that get out and get something, man. The ones that stay hungry keep getting it. That's what creates leaders. That's what creates people. That's what creates motivators. That's what creates a society and makes people want to build something that wasn't there yet, because they were hungry. They wanted something, they needed something, and they went and they did it. And when you take and you group people into this society of feeling like that something's owed to them, oh man, now you're scarring them for life, because ain't nothing owed to you. Not one thing. You've got the chance. Now do what you can with it. Now, from an American standpoint, I give you the chance to do what you want with it, bro. It's your life. Whatever. I ain't here to tell you how to do nothing. But I can say this: stay hungry. Stay hungry. It's a good motivator. And this whole idea of this food program, I understand the concept, and I'm a bleeding heart myself, but we're a nation built of loving people. And I can tell you this, there is food banks that would be overwhelmed with blessings if there wasn't enough food to be passed out to the people that truly were going. When you're hungry, you know what? You'll go stand in that line and get that food. That's the ones that I know are truly hungry. They're standing there waiting to get that food. They ain't worried about that car. Man, they're there to get some food, bro. They're hungry. There'd be plenty of food for them people. No doubt. I know in my spot they would be. And, but it also gives people a motivation like, man, I'm going to get out and find something, get out and do something, get out and get something. And we can't blame it all on that. On that, you can blame a lot of society's been affected, guys, just by the whole opioid epidemic, and created a group of sorry individuals like myself that got scattered out on that crap for years. And that's a product of the environment and being weak. That's what that is. Being weak.
SNAP in Canada, we got food banks, and that's okay. I never lined up for us. Those things lived in
Slab Shack in the Caribou Mountains in the 1980s. Ate beans and bread, milk and water. Hell, I still eat beans, bread, milk and water. Hey, you know what the old saying around here is Highway 97. It's Hey, if unexpected company shows up, just add another cup of water to the beans. I'm all about it, man. But you know what? It's in our budget too. I can buy a big old bag of pinto beans, and I can buy me, I can buy me some side meat, or I can throw me a ham bone over in there, and I can cook me up something that's worthy of eating. And it's cheap. That's another key element. Indeed, I think it's a little bit of both, Maverick. I would lean in on. I would say I agree as well, but I think it's definitely a product of both now at this point anyway. Because if you know better, stop. I did. I stopped. I quit. So it's there. It stung a little bit.
Speaking of
Took a few years
stinging,
in the penitentiary. Maybe by wasn't
I don't know
exactly I
when.
wanted to go, but it helped.
I don't know if you wanted to like switch it up, or speaking of stinging, there's a whole lot of stinging going on in another not too far away from us, but I don't know if you want to go there just yet.
On the which ones you talking about?
There's a hurricane.
Oh yeah, we got the I want to send up some good vibes and some thoughts and prayers to our brothers and sisters that I know in Jamaica. They got hit like super hard. I don't, I'm not no weather guy or nothing, but I do follow a lot on weather stuff. I know that this was possibly one of the most powerful hurricanes in the Atlantic basin, and they took I think Black River took, like, I think that area took a direct hit, and man, it was devastating. But you can see, guys, that would be so scary, man. Like, I've never been in I've never been in a hurricane, so I can't really speak from knowledge personally, but
Cat
just
5,
man,
Category 5.
it's just, category 5, 185-mile-an-hour sustained winds. And I think I heard Dr. Postel, or I can't remember, it might have been Dr. Nab, talking about that there was gust possibly 200 and some miles an hour at some levels and everything. So man,
Look at that eye.
yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like a big tornado, man. It's like it looks like a big tornado to me, like, that kind of view of it. That's a monster, bro. That's a monster, man. But sending up thoughts and prayers for everybody in Cuba and anywhere else that's been affected. I can't name everybody, but just wanting the power of prayer is real in my opinion. So I'm just letting them know I'm thinking of them, and sending up good vibes and prayers for them, hoping that they get everything they need, and that safe as they possibly can be. We got some American citizens, I heard, that were still yet going to be stuck, there, just by the way that things happen, and by chance they lost their ride out, or wasn't able to get their flight out, and then now they're stuck. And it was pretty scary, I'd say, man. I wouldn't have wanted to. I wouldn't have wanted to go through nothing like that right there on that island. I'd be afraid too. I'd be afraid that ocean was wanting us to possibly eat me up, man. Hey, Kyle Vlogs, yo, what's good, everybody? What's happening, brother? Good to see you. We were talking about this
Kyle.
government shutdown, and then
What's up, Kyle?
we switched gears over to we were sending out good thoughts and prayers for our friends in Jamaica. I can't really do nothing personally for them, but I can pray for them, and the prayer's been sent, I promise.
There hadn't been too many. I guess there was, since we're on M, but not too many storms that I've heard of. Anyway, I guess I wasn't paying attention to the news.
Yeah,
but we're in the M's of the storms.
Man, I just couldn't imagine having to go, and that's one of those situations, just by chance, man. They're where they live at, and there wasn't a whole lot they could do about it, man. Like I get it. Like I couldn't have afforded to up and roll out. Like where are you going? Where are you going? Where like you'd have to be able to fly out or whatever, because the whole island was kind of under the cone for a little bit until it narrowed
This
itself
thing is
down.
coming and nowhere to run.
Yeah. I mean, I like I get why they didn't leave, because how you going where how you know whether to leave? Like, I mean, or what if you just don't have the money? I mean, some of those folks are poor folks over there, man. Like they wasn't able to just roll out. They had to just hunker down and take it. But they did. I mean, they're I seen videos a day of them you know,
Oh, all the airports
getting
are
it.
shut down. Yeah, right now.
Yeah, all there.
Everything's talk about being shut down in a more natural way.
Yeah. I mean,
Whole island
yeah.
shut down.
I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, I get like, some of them, man, just didn't have the opportunity like that, man. I mean, it sounds good, but if you can't pinpoint where it's going to be, or maybe you just been through so many of them, you're like, ah, heck,
Oh
it
yeah,
takes me. You know what I mean? Like, I
Florida.
don't know.
I've
Ah,
been.
man,
I was in Florida once for one Hurricane Charlie back in like 2008, I want to say,
yeah, I've never
or
been.
2004. One of those, like back in the early 2000s, and I was there for Hurricane Charlie.
I have not ever been personally in a hurricane like on the coast, but like we've had ones like this past year. Um, which one? Helen. It done some damage right across the mountain over here. I think it was Helen. That done some damage right across the mountain here at Burke's Garden, and then uh, Hugo back years ago came up and through this part of the country, but I wasn't living down here at that point, so I don't really, I don't have no personal knowledge of that, other than people, telling me and just knowing from the news. But this past one that came through, now it was tough, man. I mean, it wasn't like, it wasn't super bad, but the winds were, for here in the mountains, it was windy, and it was windy, more than usual. Squirrel says he saw and heard what went on in Jamaica. Yeah, I seen some footage. I tried my best to look up some like live feed coming, like coming from coming from there. But I found a couple things, but I wasn't able to find nothing reliable, until it seemed like the majority of it was. But man, it was bad. It was bad. Like just knowing that, man, it was 185 mile an hour or more, and it went right over some of these people. Okay, that's bad. That's bad. Like I that's bad. They got hammered. They got really hammered. Um, I just can't even imagine having to even think about that. It was a bad storm, man. But luckily it's getting worked out past everybody. So once again, sending out good thoughts, good vibes, good prayers for everybody. Yeah, and Kyle, thankfully it didn't come through and hit, none of the mainland and everything. Just, man, them things are so weird, the way that they wind up going. It's hard to understand exactly how they steer and all. I kind of get some of what they say does it, but I don't, so I don't even act like that I do. But they are amazing to me. Like storms are amazing to me. I hate that people's stuff has to get destroyed by them, but I do. They are amazing to me as far as just the power of them, like tornadoes and that kind of stuff. Um, watching people are helping each other, rebuilding again, picking up the pieces. The end result, a huge typhoon here a few days ago. Power failures every time. Atmospheric rivers. Yeah, see, that's some of them things, man. Like, like the atmospheric river and all that kind of stuff. Like some of it, seems kind of weird, but once they explain it to you, it's like, okay, it kind of makes sense, I guess. I like, okay, you know, I don't know. It's weird the way you know, and it does just have its natural flow, and so does the oceans. That's what gets me. The ocean just freaks me out. I ain't even gonna lie. Thank God for someone like, you know, some of the people back in the day that went exploring across that, like Christopher Columbus and some of the other folks that done the sailing across the just I wouldn't have done that. Oh no, hell no. Uh-uh.
Especially,
No.
you can only imagine what stuff they had back then.
I'm not getting out there on that bathtub. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And I'm not doing that.
There was no ships back then.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just not even doing that. I told what my wife wanted us to go on a cruise, and I swear I really don't want to. She thinks I'm playing, but I really don't want to. I don't want to be out there on that water like that and not have no say as to when I get to go home. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm a coward, and I want to be able to see land at least. Feel like I got a chance. I want to be able to identify the shore, and cruises that keep you close enough to identify the shore is more like a boat ride, not a ship ride.
How did
But
he
we could
even
rent a
make it across?
pontoon. I'd be happy like going out on a lake on a pontoon. We could go out in the middle of the lake and stay for a couple days and hang out and stuff. I'm cool with that. But I ain't going out. I don't want to be in the ocean. I don't if it's big and it freaks me out, man. I mean, it really does have one of those. I don't want nothing to do with going out in the ocean. Not one little thing. Not one itty bitty. Not one little itty bitty tiny little bit. Just because it's just one of them things. I can't swim. I can't swim that far. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can't swim. And I look like bait. I would look like a broke seal. I know what I would look like. I'd get over in there and I'd start trying to swim, and there'd be some big fish, probably a shark or something, that would look up and see me and they'd think, oh, there's a crippled seal. And it'd come up, and then I just don't want to be flipped around. I've seen the way they do them things. I don't want to do that. I don't want to play that game. So I just don't go out in the ocean like that because I feel like I'm bait. And
I can only
you know,
imagine what Christopher Columbus sailing through when you went through a storm on that little tub or boat or whatever.
I wouldn't have never made it because I'd have started crying and they'd have made me walk the plank. They'd have made me just jump overboard because I'd have started crying. I'd have started crying and yelling and been like, y'all take me back to shore. Take me back to shore. Put me in the rear. Put me back there. Get me back out of here. Yeah, they would just make me walk the plank. Hey, what's up, brother William? Good to see you, man. Shout out to you. Carrie Sue said Charlie hit Florida. Then Bonnie, it kept going. Bonnie slammed North Carolina. Yeah, okay. I've been in only hurricane I've been in. No, thank you to staying there. Move back to New York State.
I
Then
was over there.
snowstorms go fit. I know.
Hurricane Katrina, Rita, Hurricane. What? There's another one that actually hit. Hurricane Harvey was 2017.
Man,
Texas.
I'm so with Carrie Sue there because you go from one extreme to the other, man. Because the snowstorms are really they're treacherous. You know, in Maryland, where I'm originally from, we had a lot of ice and snow right there close to the Chesapeake. Seemed like got a lot of ice and a lot of snow, and it was cold, cold, cold. Now here in Southwest Virginia, it gets cold, and it gets real good and cold, but it doesn't seem to stay. It doesn't last. It's only a couple, 3 months worth of like really harsh cold weather, and then it starts to break again. So it's like I just kind of hold my breath the first month and take it. Then the second month, I kind of spend it complaining about it and just doing what I have to do. And then the third month, I inspire myself by thinking, well, next month the weather will start breaking. So that's pretty much my whole winter in about 15 seconds. That's how I get through it. And then I really enjoy my spring and summer and fall. But the 3 months of harsh winter are, you know, pretty they rough on a feller these days. Yeah, I was in Highway 97. See, I was in a storm in Great Scent Lake with my brother back in the 70s. Huge lake full of black blackberries and more. Yeah, and you guys are up there in the cold too, man. Like it gets cold, stays cold, and doesn't it just get dark too and just stay dark? The sun kind of gets tired of coming up for a little while. Either which way, it's cold, real cold for a lot longer than down here, I think. Uh, but we only got about 3 months of really kind of crappy weather, and then it breaks for us. But then time will go back. What? When does time go back, Tommy? This month? When does it?
I think it was like maybe during Halloween or the weekend right after Halloween.
Okay. Well, now that's when it's
coming up close.
That's when it really sucks for me because it gets dark and it just seems like the evenings go on forever. Oh,
So
Jen
is it
says
the Sunday?
Sunday.
Is it the Sunday? Is the same
Sunday.
weekend as Halloween?
Yeah, yeah. Jen says Sunday. Yeah, man. That's the part that just really affects me in a negative way. I'm not going to even lie about it. Just because the rest of human life ain't going to get up any earlier in the morning and start. So it's like man, it just kills out. For me, it just hurts my evening. It hurts me in the evening time. I feel like I don't have any time at all. Like you get your kid, well, it used to be anyway. I don't have to get him off the bus these days, but when be here to get him off the bus, 3:30, coming up on 4, and then he was home for an hour and it's dark, like dark, and you're like, man, yeah, can't even get outside, can't, and it's too cold anyway. It wouldn't matter if it was dark or not. Too darn cold anyway.
But hey, did you hear about those monkeys?
Oh my God! Hey, yeah. I caught one. I did catch one. I'm not going to show it off yet.
I heard there's one left somewhere.
I did catch one. I don't want to put it out on because I need to get verification. But I'll give a quick glimpse of it there. But yeah, there's one that there's. Yeah. There he is. That's a mean looking son of a biscuit. I'm going to tell you that right now.
21 monkeys from ABC. ABC reporting.
Coming from ABC.
Apparently some kind of accident from...
Hey, there's Brother Noble in the house. Thanks, Brother Noble. Shout out to the $5, man. Appreciate that, brother. I hope you and Miss Hazel's doing good, man. Long time no see. We were talking about this government shutdown, man, and the foolishness.
Government shutdown.
And we were touching on the hurricane, and then we were touching on these monkeys that we just started talking about these monkeys coming in, and I thought it was some crap, and then I kindly looked it up, and it's true. They did. There was some monkeys. I think my wife told me there's like 5 of them or something, and then I went out and hunted one, and I got him. But I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that you seen the evidence right there. I don't need to say no more. But anyway, yeah, I was after him, and then I got done doing that. And I came in here and decided that I should tell everybody about it so that I could be the first one to well, maybe not the first one, but one I bagged me one of them, but. Doesn't look like a monkey, but it is.
And then I had this little meme or something to play at the end to wrap it up around the whole shutdown thing. The sombrero's back.
Military won't get paid until we get our 1.5 trillion for illegals in.
Sounds like a threat.
It does. Man, well, it's come to a point where instead of negotiating and instead of going at things in good faith, it's all about keeping power or voting party lines. And I'm just going to say this in closing, man, to everybody about the government shutdown. My thoughts and prayers are with all those families that might have to be waiting on their paycheck or might be struggling because they know it's a furlough, but man, they could sure use their money right now. And you know, I'm praying that all this nonsense just gets done and they get over their foolish selves, because that's all it is. That's all it is. You can look and see. It's all about, you know, they just need to get out of themselves and get back to serving the people in which that they were, you know, elected by, which is what their real job is. It's not to take a stand on anything. It's to try their best to figure out how to negotiate in good faith for everybody in their community, knowing that not everybody's going to win all the way around, but try your best to work it out where you're working for the people that you're supposed to be working for. And as for these government officials, and as for, I don't want to say government officials, I want to say our elected Congress people, because they're not my leaders. We're the leaders. We elected them. For those that were put in that position by us, the people, you know, if you want to save any integrity for this fella, and I'm sure there's got to be a couple others out there feel the same. If you want to save some integrity, you give your paycheck up while you're not doing your job, and you pick one of them Capitol Police, or you pick one of them flight people that ain't getting their paycheck, and you give it to one of them. If you want to save any face during this, and I'm talking Republican, Democrat, Independent, all of them there, that's getting their paycheck for not doing their job, if you want to have any type of integrity in my little world, then you should take your paycheck and your per diem, and you should provide that for the folks that's underneath of you that aren't getting paid because of you, because of your lack of ability to actually do your job, which is to work with everybody up there. Everybody. Not one side or the other. You ain't getting nothing done. So with that being said, guys, you got to be careful of the monkeys. All in good fun. You know, I am a trained monkey. You know, man, you know, I'm just trained to catch these kind of things. And it may not look like one, but it
oh, so you're playing traffic cop.
You know, I'm trained, you know, and I'm just saying. So I'm not saying for others to try to catch them one. I'm just saying I did. But, you know, guys, really keep everybody in your thoughts, and just keep up some good vibes for all of them that's not getting their paycheck, that had nothing to do with this crap. And for our brothers and sisters in Jamaica and Cuba and everywhere else, I can't name all this stuff off because I'm not that smart. But for everywhere else, you know, we're thinking about you, and we're sending up prayers, and we're sending up good thoughts, and we're sending up good vibes, man. And we're learning from you. We're all learning, and we're seeing every time that these types of things happen, we get to learn from each other what it really means to step in and help our fellow man and our fellow sister, and you know, step up and do the right thing. And every time these types of things happen, as tragic as what they are, man, the real pleasure is in seeing a group of people that are completely colorblind at that particular time, and they're just helping other people. That is good vibes, my friends. I appreciate y'all being here. My name is Guy. This is Creating Change. If you haven't already, please hit that like button for us. Subscribe. Share if you feel so led. Let people know about us. We appreciate it. This is Brother Tommy at Keeping It Real Media. Tommy Kenyon 7 at Keeping It Real Media. You can go find him on YouTube and all the other platforms. You can find myself on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us anywhere you want. Any other which way, you found us here on YouTube, and we appreciate you. So until next time, my friends, y'all take care. Good vibes always to my beautiful people. Y'all be good.